What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick recap on what happened, what the data points are saying, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off in my pre-market video, I did state that the ALMA, the point to watch for, was roughly at that 450 mark. So NIO was going to struggle a little bit. And if it was going to get close to that near the end of the day, especially with it being Friday associated to options, you were going to see shorts get very active. Kind of comical. So even essentially on a historically low day, you did see some signs of manipulation. So nonetheless, NIO did close 2.28% in the green, 453 the high, 436 the low. And regarding volume, 29.1 million shares being traded, 56.5 is the average. So once again, even on a historically low day, you did have majority of the volume linked to algorithmic trading as well as shorts. No big transactions on the secondary market today, so big money was kind of just taking a break as I kind of signaled they would. No actual news from NIO itself, no SEC filings. I did bring up in my earlier video a lot of the things that's kind of tentatively coming out. Of course, the next big thing for NIO is going to be the next trading day. That's when they're going to be unveiling their November numbers, and ultimately that might be the next big catalyst to propel it higher above, of course, that ALMA. But shorts. So shorts did end up increasing 732,000 shares. 15.61% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 208.52 million shares overall are being shorted. So even though pretty much across the board you had a lot of shorts closing out the positions, still you have shorts very resilient against NIO. Utilization on a side note is 94.11, but just looking at the teal line, this is what I did kind of find comical, is that they did increase their position to try to bring it down right here. So honestly, as I mentioned in my pre-market video, shorts and as well market makers had a financial interest in it closing below $4.50. So this is why you pretty much had this type of scenario play out, because as far as options, let's move over to that. 1.58 million in calls, 1.32 million in puts. 55% of all the options being done today were optimistic. So even though you had relatively low volume, you did have a lot more optimism for the options. And dollar value, though, kind of is mimicking of exactly what happened today. So the market did close at 1, so this is why you only had roughly around 2.9 million in total premiums. The put slash call was kind of in line with what it has been, so nothing really crazy for that. But of the call options that were purchased today, you see a consensus for it to be above 550 by next week. So some optimism. Then looking at the bears, they are anticipating for it to be sub 450. But like I kind of mentioned, shorts and of course market makers had a financial interest to bring it below 450, and so this is why it closed at 448. So this 16,000, so 450 and above, all of that is expiring worthless. So if it did close at 450 or above, then market makers would have to cover that 1.6 million shares. They don't want to do that. They'd rather increase position, as you can kind of see, to just bring it down, and then that way it expires worthless. Win-win on their front. Coming from a manipulation standpoint, it's kind of very, very frustrating, but all very much known stuff, and this is exactly how I said it'd play out in the pre-market video. With it at $4.48 though, it is trading between these 2 points, so this S1 and this S2. So 432 is a strong support, wasn't really tested whatsoever today, so the low was 436. Next strong kind of target is going to be $4.89, so that's based on the fib levels. Moving over to the technicals, so let's kind of expand this. So you did have this ALMA, which is at 450. So ultimately that is what really dragged it down. So hopefully with good numbers coming on, of course, Monday, then you should see it kind of break above that and at least NIO moving in the right direction, hopefully. Of course, you do have that 100 and 200-day moving average roughly around here, so at the high 4s, so that's going to act as a very strong resistance. So you have that as well as the fib levels. So NIO definitely does need to have a strong open to really propel it higher, and it needs to have big money really aiding and kind of adding a lot of volume, good support and stuff like that. And as of late, there hasn't you haven't really seen that happen all that much. But there was one thing that did come out though. So you had a new analyst rating. So basically there was a 750 buy rating done by DBS, and the analyst has a 43% success rating. So kind of positive, if that makes sense. So it's always comical how if you have a sell downgrade, stock goes down 7%, you get a buy rating 750. So that's obviously a good, was it 60-70% from these prices? Market does nothing. So it's just one of those comical things, but as a consensus of all the ratings, $6.01 is that price target, and that does represent a 34.15% upside. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of that. On a side note, if you're looking for a lot of good compiled information, analyst ratings, forecasts, ownership, everything under the sun that you do need, then take a look at IBKR for all of this to be completely free. So going into next week, I think there is some optimism for it to really go up, and that as well is resemblant based on a lot of the options that was done. So people are anticipating for it to get to kind of, like I said, that 550. You have some optimism for it to be above $6 once again for January 17th, 2025. So I think it's just a matter of time. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Hopefully everyone had a good day off yesterday to the Americans, and now hopefully everyone has a good upcoming weekend. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing I do want to share with you though, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute home run calls. So pop over there, take a look, let me know your thoughts on that. It's going to be in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.